Hey, yo, what's up, man? It's your boy, man, Lloyd Banks, aka the PLK. And you're now tuned in. You're now stuck right here in the forefront. You know how it goes down, baby. If you ain't hot, you ain't in here. Yeah. Okay.
Alright, first off, what happened at Interscope?
Interscope?
Yeah.
I think everybody grows out of a situation, whether it be a mutual thing or not. You know, when I first signed Interscope Records, it was a different climate. Everything was different, economy-wise, and the money was. Everything was different. You know, that's the golden era that we caught the tail end of, and I think being in a system, we're handling so many different artists. You know, sometimes you go from being a priority to kind of be at a standstill. You know, people when they're indecisive, you know, you as the artist, it has an effect on you immediately. From not having the opportunity to put an album out, that could have an effect on you. You can get stuck in the system. Ideas clash, differences in paths, and I think that's what happened. You know, at one point where 50 comes and sells 11, 12 million records on one album, it gets to a point where you could sell shit on a stick. You know, and I think that at that point, you know, you think that because you're part of that system, you start thinking everybody but yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, when it don't go good, you blame everybody. One thing I didn't want to do, you know. So when everything was gravy, I didn't take all the credit, and then when it wasn't all good, I didn't point any fingers. Like, you never heard me say, Interscope fucked up my project. Or still won't say it to this day, because I'm not gonna cry with spilled milk. It is what it is. All I can do is just I can make my past make sense by having a better future.
Okay. What do you think we'll go with that second project? I was curious.
Which project?
The second album.
Well, I think that, well, first of all, I had an album that I had a lot of material that was leaked out also, and then it was kind of like a spin back thing because of the time, which goes into the system again. Like, once you're in that computer lined up, then you need to come because they need to make their flip. You know, so that's basically what happens. And I think from an independent standpoint, it's a little bit different because you can size up your setup the way you want it to be. Less ears, less miles in the conversation. They don't want to come until I'm smoking, and I felt like that freedom to record without anybody, you know, any hearsay or anything, kind of like led me in the right path. It led me back to the mixtapes and repeating the formula that got me, you know, the deal to begin with. Not compromising my music. You know, when I made the decision to go with Beamer, Benz, and Bentley, you know, I still was saying my jeans are never empty, bitch. It still was like, it had a certain ignorance to the record that sometimes the label don't understand. You know, they want everything to be squeaky clean, and I think that the consumer starts to know that it's squeaky clean. It's kind of like hearing a record with the curses out. I don't think anybody likes to listen to records where the curses are bleeped out. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the best way I can put it.
What you do before Beamer Benz? Because I came out of nowhere. So what you do before then?
Before Beamer Benz, I released 5 mixtapes within September to September. Returning to PLK, I did Halloween Havoc on Halloween. Cold Corner came following that. April 30th, I dropped 4/30/82, my birthday celebration mixtape, and then V5, which led into Beamer Benz and Bentley. I wanted to secure my spot again on the underground market because that's where I come from. I think that sometimes the business savvy, the success sometimes overshadows what was more important to me. And what was more important to me was the everyday motherfucker walk up on me and show me that love, show me that support, touch me a little bit more than the commercial success, because the commercial success that can always change, you know, for the sake of entertainment. They pick and choose who they want to be You understand what I'm saying? So if you did all the things right, if you were positive and just made good music, and then this person over here was controversial and made good music, they probably would pay him a little more attention. So with all that in mind, I just want what's genuine. I don't want what changes because you want to see a different movie. I like the people who, I like the fans who are supportive of you and follow you and push you on and don't sugarcoat anything. Who better but the hood? You know, that's where I come from. So, you know, rest in peace, Justo. And it's like when I got awards and, you know, things like that from the hard work I put on the ground work, it's always going to be a little bit more appreciated to me because at the end of the day, hip hop comes from the street. So I'd rather a nigga in a fitted cap judge me than, you know, somebody with a suit on.
I feel you. Okay, how'd that track come about? How'd that track come together?
Which one is that?
Beamer Benz again.
Beamer Benz came from me, like I was doing all the mixtape material and most of it was dark. You know, most of it was like, just going right back to my neighborhood and how things are. Beamer Benz happened at a time where, like in my whole career, I never like went to like the nightclubs and just to go. Like when I go out, it would be an obligation. Some kind of money being made, and that's just the way I was growing. That's the way I was used to doing things, you know. And I think that's another part of being independent. That whole little process that I went through helped me because it was a point where I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like I'm gonna go. I went to the club one night and then I liked it. You know what I mean? Just in there and just fucking off money and you know popping bottles and just getting the feel of the nightlife, grabbing the city. You know what I mean?
New York.
Yeah, it's a difference when you out there and you promoting your album and you're at that peak, and it's another when you're like, you're still a star, but you're like under the radar, so it's like, oh shit, is that him? Like people don't expect to see you, so it's a little easier for you to do you, and I enjoyed it, and I got a little bit of what the sound was around that time. Like I'm in the club and I'm hearing certain records, and I'm like, alright, that's what niggas is fucking with. I see what I gotta do, and my ear started to broaden. Hear different kind of beats, and I had the Beamer Benz and Bentley beat. I was riding my Benz at the time, and you know I just was riding with the beat, going to the store, the mall, back and forth to the city, and so it wasn't forced. It was something that I played with. You know what I mean? Just play with, and then before you know it, I had the whole song memorized. Then it was just a matter of fact of getting the feature. Juelz Santana.
When you holler at Jules?
Juelz Santana, we did work prior to that. Like we recorded, you know, did work together before that whole situation happened. But that just happened to be the first record to come out. Just through mutual friends, you know what I'm saying? We kept in contact and remained cool.
Was you in the studio together?
Yeah.
Okay.
So going back and forth. We wasn't in the studio when he recorded it.
Okay.
But we was in the studio when I played it for him.
Okay.
He was actually at my house. I had like a barbecue. I just be bullshitting throughout the summer, and I played that record for him. I played Any Girl. I played a couple other records that I had from single potential from going to the clubs around that time, and that's just the one he took a liking to the most. And I sent it to him. He sent it back, and you know, the rest is history now. You know, 500,000 copies later, here we are.
That's what's up. Just for it to be a big track? How did you get to radio and everything? Because I think you released it as a single or just...
Yeah, well, I thought highly of the record. I felt, you know, I heard it. I felt like it was it. You know, I would have people around, my niggas around, and, you know, girls around, and started to just open up more to other people's ear and what they thought about my music. I thought the record was gonna be big. That's why I chose to go with that one first. I was like, nah, this is it. Now, little did they know I had the record recorded since last summer. I just knew that I had to drop it around February in order for it to peak when it's hot.
Okay.
I didn't want to drop it, and people were saying, oh, you should have dropped it closer to your album.
Yeah.
But if you drop it closer to your album, it'll be peaking when it's cold outside.
True.
And it's not the same feeling. Like it's not as many Beamer Benz or Bentleys on the street. in December as June and July. You feel me? So that's why it came out the way it did. And the funny thing is, it kind of caught on a little faster than I thought it would.
Oh, really?
So it sped up.
Okay.
So instead of it peaking in fucking June, July, by
May it was peaking, right?
You know what I mean?
It was still a summer anthem though.
Yeah, it was definitely the summer anthem, and it made it. You know, the good part about it is that when it came out, I was touring overseas, so I didn't get a chance to flood the market in the States, but I had a chance to pitch it at the same time overseas. Okay. You know, see, when you're on an independent, you know, certain record labels pitch their record all around the world. Like even when your album comes out, it might have a release internationally also. So that's what the opportunity I had was to launch it in London, launch it in all through the UK the way I would launch it at Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? On Power 105. So that was a good thing, and we just left Brazil. I just left France. It's crazy out there. So the record is just now getting the reaction that it was getting in the States overseas. So which is a beautiful thing, and hopefully, you know, I can drive those numbers up from overseas. Okay.
So I guess you got to release another hot single to go into the album, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, right now I'm coming off the Any Girl single featuring Lloyd. Yeah. That video is out right now, so that's gonna run into the next single, and then I'm gonna drop a few more records before November 23rd. I got a few things, man. A few nice pieces. You know, I think I'm well past prepared. You know, I know what I'm going up against. You know what I mean? I know Hunger for More. I know what that meant to hip hop. I know what that meant to my fans and, you know, my supporters and me myself. So knowing that, I took extra care in going about recording for this project.
Okay, that's what's up. So start with the nerd questions, I guess. How come you guys didn't stay independent? You went to EMI, right?
Yeah, well, it's still a distribution situation, so it's not. It's still I have an independent layout, like my split and everything is.
It's still like independent layout. Okay.
But EMI, you know, they work as far as marketing and distribution. So they help them with the single at radio. Also, they have people in certain departments, but for the most part, it's a distribution deal.
Sure. How come nobody ever goes completely independent with no distribution deal or nothing like that?
No, I mean,
but not just you, anybody, any artist, you know what I'm saying?
It takes money for one. You know, it takes money, and you're still gonna need somebody to press up the CDs. You know, eventually we're gonna be at a point where, you know, production cost, all that's gonna go down because everything's gonna be digital. Yeah. But for these last few years that we do have at retail, you know, you have to pay attention to it, and I think that's the goal. You know, that would be my ultimate goal, is to generate enough finances to completely fund your album.
Okay. Will it take just money to do that?
Yeah, pretty much. Money in the outlet. You just need to connect. You need to have the right support system. Like Beamer, Benz, and Bentley, the success of that record was all G Unit Records. That's before the whole EMI situation even came about. So they're just picking up on my second single. So the Beamer, Benz, and Bentley success came from the G Unit department and the relationships that we built over the years with the DJs and
radio and everything.
Yeah, and just reaching out on our own, and me having to take extra sacrifice. You know, I did a lot of radio requirements and summer jams and all kind of music meetings, and just popping up and just saying, even if I wasn't getting paid, you know, because I knew what the overall picture was about. It's a difference when you're chasing money, you know. At this point, I've been good, you know, not down on my last, not chasing money. So, you know, every dollar is not a good dollar. So I know, and I have the lane to make sacrifices, because I know I will get it back, you know, in the future. But you have to, that's just a part of being independent, you know. Part of being independent is having to be there. Okay. You know, it's not somebody else selling it, it's you selling it. You're completely selling yourself now. So it's a lot harder than what it seems. Okay. You know, to be independent means you have to make a lot more decisions also.
Okay. Was Spit behind the scenes with that, or You doing
Most definitely.
Okay.
You know, he came to my house actually. 50 came to my house and he was like, you know, what you got? I played him one record, and that one record was Beamer Benjamin, and it was like, all right, let's go. And then that next day, I was going in the studio to mix it. But it was a good thing, man, a good feeling to know that that I have his backing, you know, up until this point, regardless of how the business and people manipulate you to feel. Regardless of people saying that G-Unit was over and all that other shit, like, I refuse to listen to that shit, you know. I think that our success helps predict our anticipation. Like, people expect you to do so good based off of what you've done. You know, you have to do good in order to disappoint.
You make more? Just kidding. You make more money independently, or you make more money with the corporate?
Well, it depends on what your success is. It depends on how good you do. You know.
Okay.
If I do the numbers that I did on my last project,
more money independently, right?
way
more money, yeah.
Way more. You know.
You just gotta spend more to get there, right?
Like I said, it's a sacrifice, you know, and that's part of the sacrifice that 50 Cent has made, you know, to spread things out where they need to be. And it's one thing to have a label gamble on you, it's another thing would you gamble on yourself. It's like how you might got somebody in the hood, right? That's like I might know somebody, like one of my homies or whatever, and he might make the decision to rap today. You know, I'm gonna rap, I'm gonna do my thing. And then people will be like, yo, how come, you know, why you don't put him on or whatever. It's like, all right, well, if you feel he's that good and you had $50,000 to your name, would you put 25,000 up on his career?
Not even gonna make that rich, right?
So it's like, you know, you just have to know what makes sense to you, to keep your ear open to hear, you know, criticism, but, you know, whatever just sounds stupid, you know, let that stay right then and there.
Let's go with this question. I guess you guys are now melding with like the other New York artists. Before, y'all didn't do too many collabs with New York artists, so what changed that?
Change itself, you know, nothing stays the same. You know, when you come into the game, everybody has their first shot to just have that energy, you know. When a brand new artist come in the game, 50 came in, could do no wrong, you know what I mean? When Kanye comes, everybody's Kanye'd out. Drake comes, it's Drake time. But, you know, the challenge is to stand the test of time. The challenge is to when that mania calms down, and they on to the next thing, whether it be Soulja Boy or whatever it is, how do you stand out? How do you remain relevant?
Yeah.
That's the, you know, passing the test of time. I think that you grow. You know, when you come in, you're just so naive because everything is working on your own end. Like, you don't even see the need to do anything outside your box. You understand what I'm saying? It's not until later on when you see you have to adapt. Not saying that I never wanted to work with a lot of artists, I just didn't have to look far. You know, I was once a part of a record label, within a record label, G-Unit Records and Interscope, where you could, Young Buck, Tony Ayo, Mobb Deep, Dre, everybody was there, so you didn't, Nate Dogg, you didn't really have to look too far out the box for what you needed to get done. And I think that now, you know, me spreading my actions and just getting in there working with people is you know, it has its own significance just because they haven't seen it happen too much. So, I mean, I watch other artists like Snoop and different artists I looked up to. If you really look back in their careers, they didn't either. It wasn't until later on, 5, 6 albums down the line, where you heard Snoop with another artist from New York City or artist from St. Louis or whatever. Before that, you would only hear him with the Dog Pound or with Dr. Dre. You know, so it wasn't that he didn't want to work, it's just that you're building your empire, you're building a legacy up. And then now it's like the all-star game. You know what I mean? When you get out there and we all could compete. And I think that it'd be much more features in the future that would excite people also.
So who from NY have you want to record with but haven't recorded with yet?
From New York City, well, it's a lot of artists coming out of New York City. Damn.
New York rapper. Any rapper.
That I haven't worked with.
Yeah.
Well, I actually, I got off the phone with Styles P earlier, so I'm trying to make that collab happen for the album before we wrap up.
So you haven't done nothing with Styles P yet?
No, this will make the first.
It'll make it first. That's what's up.
I worked with Jada on the Beamer Benz and Bentley remix.
Yeah.
Hopefully to get something else, and you know what I mean, going also. Who else? I mean, it's so many artists that I would love to work with. Shout out to Raekwon is doing this thing. He just had, a very successful album with the Kid 1-8 Part 2. He's on EMI also, so hopefully I can get something wrapped up with him before the project is over.
Okay, you holler at him?
Who else? You know what's crazy is there hasn't been a lot of breakthrough artists since out of New York City.
Yeah, it's been kind of quiet. Yeah.
It's just, I tease my friends all the time about that. Like, nigga, I'm the last New York artist to have a platinum debut.
Yeah, could have been right. I gotta look at it. Could be. Yeah.
It's fact.
Yeah, it's right. Okay.
2004.
Okay.
Hunger for More was the last platinum debut album from a New York City artist.
Wow.
So
it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, and how ironic, here we are. You know what I mean? HFM 2, 6 years later, with the chance to have similar success. So I'm just I'm blessed, man. I'm just happy to be in position. I feel like if you close the G-Unit book today, I feel like we have a legacy that's unmatched. I feel like, if we're not the best, then one of the best groups in hip hop all time. But now it's time to branch off, build the Lloyd Banks brand. So part 2 of my legacy.
Let's go on to the next question. Everybody want to know what's up with Buck. Where's he at? What's he doing? What's your relationship?
I haven't spoke to Buck since the whole situation happened, so I don't know what's going on with him. The way I found out what's going on with him is the same way you do.
Online, son?
Through the computer.
Somebody told you?
Through records, or you know what I mean, just media. It is what it is. I don't put forth negative energy, or I have nothing to say, nothing positive nor negative about the situation. He said things, through his music and through interviews and things that it's obvious that we're on 2 different planes. Like, I'm comfortable and he's not, so it's hard to have an eye and eye. When your stomach hurt, you do things out of make desperate actions and decisions that you probably wouldn't have made if everything was cool. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's hard for me to be like, yo, I just look at it like he's bugging. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
You all understand why he's bugging, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, like, I can't stop doing what I'm doing. I got things I got to do. I got bills I got to be paid. You feel me? And then at the end of the day, that's just a lesson for everybody. Nothing stays the same. You gotta separate your wants and your needs. You feel me? Like, ain't nobody paying my bills. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I gotta know who I am. I gotta live within my needs as Lloyd Banks. You understand what I'm saying? I can't do me feeling like I got the crutch of 50 Cent to call on. You know what I mean? That's just not me.
Okay.
And I think that you make a lot of mistakes when you first come into the industry. You spend as if it will never ending dollar. That's just how you feel. And then we come from the street, so you get used to flipping money, and it's like, I'm gonna get it on my next flip, and then when that flip don't happen, you be stuck out there. You gotta just keep your circle tight. You know what I mean? Because ain't no babysitters over here. Ain't no babies. So, 50 never told me, yo, don't buy that, or nah, you can't get that. It's my money. We all got different accountants, people handling your business. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, when everything was gravy, everything was beautiful. You know what I mean? It's not until the money. Money changes things, and I think that's one reason why me, Ye, and 50 always, you know, remain intact, is because knowing who we are. You know, like I didn't have the pressure of being 50 Cent in New York City because it was only 150 Cent. But if Lloyd Banks was from Milwaukee, or Lloyd Banks was from Minnesota or anywhere else, I might have a little more pressure to be the king of your city. You understand what I'm saying? And have the things that a king has.
Okay.
50 made me be more comfortable being me. And I could be me because naturally I'm more laid back, humble type of nigga. So it was like, all right, well you take all that shine and shit, and then let me just speak through the music. Okay. So it's like yin and yang.
Okay. So basically, you haven't heard from the basement.
No, I haven't heard from him, and you know, it is what it is. I don't wish any bad luck or anything like that on anybody. You understand what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know, people make their decisions. You can't let people get in your ear. Money, it's all over money, baby. You know what I'm saying? Even with the game situation, like, it's all money.
How about Game trying to get back G-Unit? You heard that one?
I mean, I heard it, but it wasn't the first time I heard it. You know, everybody knows he's bipolar. He's liable to big you up and say fuck you in the next interview. I catch myself sometimes because I got a lot of fuck yous on, a lot of IOUs that I should be saying fuck you for, but that just shows you the type of person I am opposed to them. Like, you know, I could be kicking a lot of people while they down, but I'm just happy with my situation and that I could push forward.
What was your first thoughts when you heard that one?
When I heard what?
We heard a Game trying to get everybody back together.
Oh, man, bullshit.
Okay.
I knew what it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if your records were performing the way you would expect them to, you want them to, those kind of conversations wouldn't even happen, you know what I'm saying? So,
you guys on that thing? Oh, yeah, thank God.
You know, when your records are doing good, those kind of conversations wouldn't even come up. You know, it's when you're at the label and you're trying to figure out how to generate new interest and spark up something for your album to come out.
Okay. So G-Unit, who is it now? Just you, 50 Yale?
Pretty much.
Okay. You ain't got no new members, anybody coming out there trying?
Well, you know, we always listen to the music. You know, 50's listening to the demos like all the time. You know. I think that'll be my next goal is to find somebody and give them the opportunity that 50 gave me to be just as good as me or better. You know, that's what I want. Like I want to present an artist to the world that is just as good as me or better. You know, I think that's dope. You know, when I heard Eminem when 50 did. What was the record? I got places to go, got people to see, the penitentiary, and then Eminem had left a message on the machine like, yo, this guy's the fucking best ever. So it was like Eminem, somebody who you call the best ever, is saying that 50 Cent was the best he heard. So you know, that was a cool thing to me, you know, and I want to find that. I don't want to just present a half-ass. I mean, I want to give you a nice bag of weed, like not no skimpy shit that I already smoke blunts out of.
Okay. No names to drop right now?
Not at the moment. I'm definitely paying attention to what's out there, definitely looking.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get that done, but I just, you know, the main priority is Hunger for More Part 2. I gotta make me good. That's the type of nigga I am. Like I can't be doing okay and promise you shit. I got to be doing extremely well, so well enough to put you in position.
Yeah, let's go back down. How far you into it? Who's on it?
Well, with the album, I'm like 95% done. The rest is just features.
How many tracks?
Well, we're gonna chop it down. You know, I always had more than what's required. The first album had 14. Hopefully, we can get somewhere along them lines. Definitely want to shoot videos for all of them. As far as production goes, I got a lot of new producers on there. I got Cardiac, he's dope. His sound is amazing. Young Seth, he did a joint for me. Buddha the Future, Nick Speed out of Detroit, Nascent. He's done material for War Angel. 50 dropped his mixtape. Justice League. Of course, 50's on the album. Ye was on the album. I tried to bring back as many of the key pieces from the first album. I got Nipsey Hussle too. I just linked up with him the other night in the studio.
So what's your next favorite track besides Being Better Man?
My next favorite?
Yeah.
I got a record called Father Time, which I'm working on that feature right now. I don't want to let it out the hat too fast, but the record is incredible, man. It has, the beat is hard, and Father Time is just speaking on me knowing that I have everything it takes, to go to the next level and just explaining to my fans, what's been going on within that time and what I feel I brought to the game, and the whole thing is, will time permit me to get there? Like, I have all the talent in the world, but my time needs to happen now. That's basically what the record is speaking on, because they say, patience is a virtue, but at the same time, you don't want to watch it go by being too patient.
I feel you. Thinking, vamos continuar. EMI, good label to represent rap, because these people say it's not a rap label.
Well, you see, the difference with me is that, like I said, we were working. Everything you heard up until that point, the EMI deal just was solidified, certified a week and a half ago. So up until that point, everything you were hearing was based off of the things that we took in from the industry that we learned from being in the game. So I think that certain worries that an artist would have coming in new, we don't have, because we were basically looking for the money. We didn't really need the formula. We just needed the money and the outlet, and we got people to work radio, you got people to work radio, let's work together. You got people to do marketing, we also, let's work together. It was more of a, what can you do to push this further? It wasn't really looking for answers, and I think
did you add people to their team, like?
I think, yeah, exactly. I think that's what made the situation work more for me, is that they're definitely they're gonna be supportive of you, and it's just a bonus, man. It was a plus. Like I said, we got the game. We just needed the machine.
Okay. Yeah, what's Yayo been up to?
Yeah, it was working, man. He's I ain't seen Yayo in about 2 weeks, so that usually means he's stuck in the studio.
Okay, that's a good thing.
I know he's working on a mixtape now with one of his artists, Danny Brown, called Hawaiian Snow. So you can check for that song. He's working on a solo project also. So as early as next year, they can expect to hear Tony Yayo album.
Okay. Shine and Rick Ross.
Yeah.
How's the relationship with them? Is it over?
Well, as far as Shine goes, I don't even.
You feel as one of your worst 3 rappers online, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
Not the old Shine. To me, the old Shine was cool as an artist. This new guy I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's just not good. It's not good music. No, and it's all in all honesty. It's not to punch a jab at anybody or anything like that. It's just, in my opinion, asked me a question, and I felt like the music he's been putting out lately is not cool.
Okay.
As far as Rick Ross goes, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop is competitive, so you're gonna go through things. It's a competitive nature that's gonna be around forever. Will I entertain it? Only if I'm provoked. I spoke in that situation before. I'm doing me. I wish everybody the best of luck. Because I'ma definitely do me.
Okay. Two more questions. Online there was some video chick that said she knew you. Who was that? You know what that situation was about? You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I seen you talking about the thing on Stormbuck Wild?
Yeah, was it Starbucks? Yeah, Starbucks. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I'm not one to make celebrities. I don't want to say a star because you know that's a different thing. But I'm not one to make celebrities. You know, all I can say is I ain't never had no girlfriend. Everybody pretty much knows my lifestyle.
You happy, right?
What do you expect? You know, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, I've never been the type to, the same way you don't hear me talk about anything personal with that. Like, I'm not going to be like, even though I said I got a girl named Kima, and Kima like Christina, that's not based off of real people. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's just a fictionary line that sounds good. We rap together. But I'm not, I don't claim anybody, and anybody who claims me at this point is a little nutso.
Okay. Bad chick, whoever. She's the video chick, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, being bad and being smart is two different things.
No say. Last question. Brian Pumper, the porno dude.
Yeah.
Say you want to be a part of his unit. What's your opinions and thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not one to shoot nobody down. I'm not going to shoot nobody's dream down. You know what I mean?
I mean, you was doing porn at one point, right? You doing porn?
It is, I mean, see, the thing is, you never know how long somebody's rapping. You don't know if it's something that just came out now or if they just started rapping now. But like I said, the test of time is everything. Let's see next year if we're having the same conversation. He might not stop.
Okay.
You ever thought about that?
I don't know. I didn't listen to it. I just heard it on the headline.
It's just all entertainment, man. All the things you hear on the internet, man. I play my role. Like, I just do me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, hip hop is one of the only professions you don't need a GED to get involved in. All you need is a voice. If you can talk, you can rap.
Okay.
You know, and I think that's the message that gets out there. People don't see the hard work, because it is work. You know, and it feels even more like work when everything isn't going good. You know, it's probably why when people are doing good, you get a lot more interviews. So it's like, you gotta see the work. You gotta see the work you put. I've been rapping since 10, 11 years old. You know what I mean? So I was doing this when it wasn't cool for nobody but who knew about that. Like at one point, rap was like Fight Club.
Yeah, it was